Yo, so I know what you're thinking, Danny, where you been? It's been a while, but I thought I'd get back into it and do a Facebook Live today, so don't worry if you come in and out. There's quite a few topics that I want to discuss and touch on today to kind of help you out. And the first one, I literally must get this asked 3 or 4 times a week, and it's, what is better? Is it weights or is cardio better when you're initially starting out? So, first of all, whenever a client comes on board or whenever you're on your fat loss journey, you've always got to have weights. What I would always do, it depends on the client when you first come in, first of all, but I try and make sure that weights is a main priority, or resistant training is a main priority when a client comes to me. Then alongside that, I can have a cardio regime if needed. When a client comes to me, I like them doing as little as possible to get the maximum result. So I'll always have weight training, because that's going to increase the metabolism. It's going to help build the shape that they want to do. Now, don't worry if you've never done weight training. You can learn along the way, and it is a skill. But the more that you do it and the more you repeat it, you're better that you will come at that skill. So let's say, for example, we've got weight training as our main pillar. Then alongside that, that's when we can supplement with cardio. But let's bear in mind, what does cardio actually do for us? It improves our fitness, improves our cardiovascular health, and it will also burn calories. But it's not necessarily going to build the shape that you want alone. What is going to build the shape that you want? Well, it's obviously you need to be in a calorie deficit, and you need to be eating the right amounts of foods and right types of foods, and you need to make sure that stress is low and your gut health is good. So let's say we've got all that under control. Then weight training, what is weight training going to do? That's going to help build our shape. So we're walking lots, we're doing more exercise, we're moving about more, we're eating good quality food, and we're weight training. Then if needed, we can add cardio in to help increase fat loss. But initially, what I try and get clients to do is I'll say to them, because a lot of my clients are office based, and I'll say, how many steps are you doing a day? How much are you moving? And usually if you're office based, you're usually doing between 2,000 to 5,000 steps a day. So let's say, for example, for the next week, if you have a look and you're doing 3,500 steps, then you can set yourself a goal the week after of doing 5,000 steps. And that's just increasing the amount of calories that you're burning, and you won't have to add any cardio in. So you're eating a good diet, you're weight training, and then just increasing steps. Then if needed be in a few weeks' time when fat loss stalls, that's when you can add some cardio in. But weight training always first, that is your main pillar. Then you can add cardio in alongside that. It should always supplement it, but your main pillar is always going to be your weight training. So when it comes to fat loss, weight training is first, cardio comes after that. Okay, so just want to get that across. So next question, how many meals a day for fat loss? Well, okay, right, this is a good one, because people always think they need to eat 4, 5, 6 times a day. And I'll tell you the truth, there is no difference in you eating 2 times a day or you eating 10 times a day. It is whatever works for you. So if you've got a busy schedule or you're working 12-hour nights and you're on shifts, then probably eating 5 or 6 times a day isn't going to work for you. Okay, or let's say, for example, you've got a sluggish digestive system and you're always bloated, distended, you struggle to handle a lot of foods, you've got a lot of food sensitivities. Probably eating 2 times a day isn't going to work for you either. So you need to kind of find a balance that's going to work for you. So what I've usually found is, with a lot of my clients, the main tipping point is between 4 to 6 meals a day. When I did my fitness shows myself, I was eating 6 times a day. But for most of my clients, I'm roughly going between 3 to 5 meals a day. That's usually what works for them. I never tend to go above 6 meals a day. I don't see the point at all. Now, I might have 4 or 5 meals a day and then like a post-workout shakes or whatever, that's fine. But I don't really class that as a meal. And obviously people are, there's a blooming now, that's blinding. There's some sun in here. Let me just pull down these blinds. Right, I'm back. Couldn't really see them. Yeah, so when it comes to your meals, I would roughly go for a sweet spot of between 3 to 5 meals. I'll move this way. God, I can't see a thing. When you're doing dieting, I'd usually go between 3 to 5 meals, and that works really well. But obviously, when you're doing intermittent fasting, people might only eat 2 or 3 meals a day, but that works well for them. And this is a good point. I know I'm going a little bit off topic, but people say, "Oh, I want to do intermittent fasting. I've heard it is amazing for fat loss." And the reason that people do well, there's 2 things here. The reason that people do well with intermittent fasting is because they're only eating between like a 6 to 8 hour window. Okay, so 16 hours a day, they're not eating. When they're not eating, they're lowering blood sugar levels, they're increasing gut hormone, growth hormone, they're allowing the gut to heal. And then, obviously, because they've only got an 8 hour window to eat, they're eating far less food. Whereas obviously if you're eating 16 hours a day, you're going to eat a lot more food. So it's not that intermittent fasting necessarily increases fat loss, but what it does, it means that you eat far less food. Now, this works really well if someone is really has good habits and has good systems in place and is in control of kind of what they do dietary-wise. Now, let's say, for example, if you're coming off doing a bad diet and you've got a poor relationship with food, jumping straight into that, after you've not ate for 16 hours, when you're absolutely starving, your blood sugar levels and your hormones, your hunger hormones and appetite hormones are fluctuating everywhere, it's probably not the best diet for you to start with, because you're going to crave sugary foods and you're going to eat a lot more foods in that 8 hours. Let me just take this blinds down again. I can't see a thing. Sorry about this, guys. This is what happens when you go live. Yeah, so that's kind of intermittent fasting works well. But it's only because you're only eating at a smaller window. There's no necessarily it's better than that. It's just because you'll be eating far less calories in that time. Okay, so this is a good one. How many reps should I do for fat loss or for muscle building? Right. So people always ask me when they first join up is, Danny, what weight should I do for this exercise, or what weight should I do for that exercise? And I always say to them, I don't know. Okay, so what you have got to do, this is what I always do with every single client, whether I'm when I've been with them or not. That, let's say, for example, if I've got you on a lying leg curl and I gave you 10 to 12 reps to hit, okay? Now, if you get all the way through to 12 reps, doesn't hurt, feels easy, that is too light, okay? Now, let's say, for example, the next set, we increase the weight. Now, we're keeping to our form, we're keeping our technique locked down, and we're doing the exercise, and the last 3 to 4 reps are extremely difficult. This is what it's telling us probably is going to be about the right weight. So, let's say, for example, you're getting through to 7 or 8 reps, fine, but then the last 3 or 4 reps are difficult, that's perfect. Now, so let's say, for example, we've got our weight locked down. We know exactly what we've got to lift now, and what reps we've got to do. What I always tell people then is try and push past the pain point. So what people usually do when they're in the gym, and I see it every day when I go to the gym, is people might have on the sheet 10 to 12 reps, and they'll do 10 to 12 reps, but they won't push past that pain point. Now, everybody can get to 10. I want to know, with that weight, can you get to 13? Can you get to 14? Now, if you're consistently pushing yourself out your comfort zone and hitting those extra 2, 3, 4 reps, I guarantee your physique will change as part of it, and you will start, obviously you're going to burn more calories, and you're going to increase your chance of increasing muscle mass, but it's also going to stand you in good stead for when you do get into your training sessions. I can remember when I would training legs twice a week before my show, and I would push myself beyond where I thought was physically possible, and my physique was changing so much quicker because I was pushing myself so hard. Now I look back at my training and I'm like, Danny, what are you doing? I'm not lifting as much, I'm not doing as strong. So you need to realise sometimes you get in your comfort zone and you realise, why am I not changing? And it's probably down to yourself. It's probably down to you're not pushing yourself past that pain point. So 2 things. If you get yourself a good coach or a good training partner to push you past that point, or what you can also do is track it. So what I get every one of my clients to do, this is on my app, but if you haven't, obviously you're not my client, you're not using the app, but if you've got a logbook, then what you can do is track the reps and sets that you're doing. Okay, so let's say, for example, you're coming to the next training program now. So you did lying leg curl. We did 20 reps for 12. Next set, we did 20 reps for 13. Next set, we did 20 kilos for 14 reps. Then you come to it next week, you go, right, so I did 20 kilos for 14 last time. Now, I've got to beat that, okay? So I'm going to start with 20 kilos for 14. I'm going to try and match it. I've done that. Now I'm going to increase the weight. I always tell my clients, try and increase it by reps first, then add more weight, and do that time and time again. And even if it's just a small increment, even if you're only adding 1 or 2 kilos extra each week, well, in 2 or 3 months' time, you're 20, 30 kilos. Now, this is the thing. When lads are doing bench pressing or they're trying to go to the chest, they'll jump from 60 kilos on the bar to 70 kilos. Now, that is a massive jump. That's like over 15% jump. So you're never going to be able to sustain that. What you should be able to do is add 1 or 2 kilos on that bar and then do it again the week after. Do it again the week after. Do it again the week after. We're going to keep our form, we're going to keep our technique, but we're gradually going to improve and increase the weight. When we're doing this each time, 20 to 30 kilos on the bar, if you're lifting 90 kilos 3 months later and your diet's bang on, your training's bang on, you're beating it, you're intense, you've got the right supplementary regime, you're managing your stress, guess what? Your physique is going to look totally different. So that's why with my online clients, I always make sure they're lifting more, always make sure they're doing more, because then I know at the end of it, we're going to have a bang on physique. If you're dieting and you've got in your head that you can't lift as much, it's more of a mindset thing, because you can lift as much, and if you start doing pump fluffy work, yes, you will lose muscle mass. So you've got to make sure you keep strong when you're dieting. Okay, so next one, low intensity cardio. What is it? Okay, low intensity cardio, so that's like steady state cardio, so it could be like a walk, or it could be a steady pace, no more really than your heart rate at 140 beats per minute. So it could be steady work on the cross trainer, steady work on the bike, treadmill, whatever it might be. I kind of go with the judge by that you'll be able to speak to someone next to you. So it's steady work, you're just ticking over calories, you're not doing anything too intense. High intensity cardio, so HIIT training, that is going to be more like interval based stuff, or sprints, or strongman circuits. So when people ask me what is better, there's no which is better, it's what you can do and sustain. So if you're not very fit and you're new to fitness, I'd probably say start out on low intensity steady state, because it's easier for you to do, you've got less chance of injury, you're not going to have so much of a lactic acid build up, and you're going to be able to progress and notice your fitness improve a lot quicker. Then when you do get fitter, you jump over to HIIT and you're going to get so much more from it. Let's say, for example, if you're a businessman or you're really busy and you haven't got much time, then maybe HIIT is better for you because it only takes 10 to 20 minutes. Whereas if you've got steady state, you might be doing it for an extended period of time. So there's no right or wrong. It's whatever you can do and you can sustain and what works for you. If you're really stressed, I probably wouldn't do HIIT. I would mainly do low intensity steady state. So it entirely depends on the person, their goals, and kind of their fitness levels as well. Okay, so, all right. Ooh. Okay, expectations when it comes to fat loss, right? So first of all, I think most people always assume that we have got to track weight. Now, like most of my online clients know, I never really asked them initially for their weight. Obviously, we'll take their weight initially, but it's not like, oh shit, we've got to take our weight each week, because what you've got to realize is weight fluctuates all the time. If you don't go for a shit, your weight's going to be up. If you're not drinking any water, guess what? Your weight's going to have gone down. So it's not. It doesn't show you how well you have burned or lost body fat. So the main feedback mechanisms that I use with all my clients initially is going to be weight. Not weight. I've gone off track there. It's going to be photos. Is going to be measurements, so I will be doing around the chest, mid-bicep, mid-thigh, hips, waist. I'll do all those, and then I'll ask them, how are you feeling in your clothes? How are you looking in your clothes? Have you had any changes? How have people commented on your physique? That is more important to me, because I know if all those are coming down, okay, all those are changing, well, guess what? Your weight would have come down in a month's time. And it's also getting away from the idea that you've got to monitor and look at weight every week, because I know if you look at your weight every week, you're also looking at your weight every day or every 2 days, and it takes over. And then what you'll start doing is you won't stick to the process. You'll start to skip meals, or you'll start to skip sessions, or you'll start to drink less water just so your weight goes down. But in the long run, that isn't going to serve you well, and you're going to be more stressed and inflamed, and you're not going to get results as quick. So never choose weight as your first feedback mechanism. Use that as probably last one, and try and get away from the weight loss scene as such. As what you want to focus more on fat loss, and the way you're going to do that is by looking at your photos and measurements. You don't have to necessarily have the best fat loss tool like a DEXA scanner or calipers. Just go by that, and if you do that, you'll get good results. All right. So, and also when it comes to expectations on fat loss, I always tell my clients, look, I want to see that you're losing inches. So if you lose half an inch to an inch every week, obviously if you're bigger, you're going to be losing a little bit more, but roughly, if you're losing half an inch to an inch every week, that's probably going to equate to, so you obviously by the end of the month, you're going to lose 2 to 3 inches, which is great. And that is a massive difference. When it comes to your clothing, that's going to be 1 or 2 dress sizes or 1 or 2 buckles off your jeans. It's going to be a big difference. And then what you can also do is go, and then you'll look at your weight, and I guarantee your weight will be down by about 3 or 4 pounds. Now, when it comes to weight, if you want to preserve muscle mass and if you want to preserve your physique, you don't want any more than 1 or 2 pound drop every week. So if you were losing a stone over the month, but you were regular weight training on your diet, it's probably telling me you're eating too less, or you're losing a lot of muscle mass and a lot of water as well. So 1 or 2 pounds a week is roughly the best guide. But like I said, don't stick to weight. Look at your measurements, look at your body, how you're feeling in clothes, how you're looking, and that will be the best feedback tool. Now, just going a little bit off track for the last point. So, obviously, I've not done a challenge in a while in this group. So, what I'm going to kickstart tomorrow is I'm going to do a new challenge. I recorded it yesterday. I thought it'd be easy, but it's not. So, it's like a little squat challenge that I want everyone doing. We'll get everyone back doing it again. And I'm also going to post a home workout I did yesterday in this group for everyone to try. 5 minutes for a beginner, 10 minutes for an intermediate, and 15 minutes for an advanced client, for an advanced person. So, Give it a go, let me know your feedback, and I'll get them sent over this week. Any more questions, guys, send them over, tag them in either in this video below, or send them me in a private message, and what I'll do is I'll cover this in the next Facebook Live. So, I hope that video helps, guys.